Hello, everybody. Ryne Sandberg just did a lot for me, and I learned so much from him. But Father, please tell your brother, I think it's best he didn't try to fix his cable or his washing machine. There was a phrase dancing around my head throughout the reemergence and vengeful path of Ryan's cancer. 2-3, too soon. It rang louder and louder each day until it crescendoed while Laura and I were in Portugal and received Margaret's call that Ryne was fading. We rushed home and were with him for parts of 3 days. Although he was extremely weak, tired, and in terrible pain, he gave his all to talk, laugh, and share our time together. It meant everything to us and to John and Dana Liparotti, extremely close friends of Ryne and Margaret. Thank you, Margaret, for that call. He died a few days later, and I've been numb and trying to reconcile it ever since. 2-3, too soon. In celebration of his life and our 45 years together, please allow me to share a few of my cherished memories of him, both on and off the field. As I reflect on our long and winding road together, the Sandberg game, as Bob named and has so often glorified, was indeed the rocket fuel propelling Rhino to national stardom and adoration. I'll leave it there rather than follow Bob's elegant style and storytelling. The other most memorable game for me was April 1st, 2006. It was opening day of the Cubs' 1996 season. Sorry, folks. A cold and windy day in Wrigley Field. The stadium was buzzing and erupted when Ryne was announced in the starting lineup. This was his return to the Cubs and his fans after unexpectedly retiring nearly 2 years earlier. And then he came to bat to thunderous applause in the bottom of the first inning. The nervous excitement and anticipation was felt by all in the stadium. He worked the count to 2-1, and then we all heard that unmistakable crack of the bat and Harry Carey's call. Drive, left center field. The wind is going to hold it, and he drew out the U and up and let it down with a sigh. Holy cow. That ball would have been the first home run of the season. Listen to the hand he gets trotting back to the dugout. No doubt about that one. The wind held it up. If it had been blowing out, it would have hit the Budweiser sign on the other side of Waveland Avenue. Steve Stone added, Sandberg was just stopped from a Cinderella at bat. For me, it would have been another incredible Roy Hobbs moment. The Cubs won, so it was the perfect return. We all loved watching you play. 2-3 too soon. Let's shift over from the infield grass to the fairway grass, where Ryne also excelled and loved to be. I cherish the countless rounds I played with him, and despite receiving 13 strokes, I don't remember ever winning a round. If I got too close, he would turn it up a notch and ward off the challenge. Pure Rhino. Most importantly, we laughed throughout each round and loved trading playful backhanded compliments. Always grinning, he loved asking me if I was elated after I seemed satisfied with a shot. He got the biggest kick out of coaxing that word out of me and letting me know I might have overhyped the quality. It was our game within the game. In the fall of 1997, Ryne and Kevin Oring had a card show in Hawaii, and together with Armando Almanza, we scheduled a round of golf. When I arrived in the lobby, I couldn't believe all three were dressed in totally identical outfits, and they were trying to contain themselves to look as all was normal. It took a few seconds to realize I was wearing the same outfit and that it was a joke on me staged by Margaret, Ryne, and Laura. And then they all broke up, and that's how the day started. On the third hole, Kevin was behind a tree and with his incredibly long arms wound up, and it hit it so hard he nearly came out of his shoes. The shot ricocheted off the tree at 125 miles an hour and struck me in the gum above my left teeth. Ryne was mortified, and as I was so stunned, I fell to my knees, dramatically exclaiming the fateful words, "I think I'm in trouble. I think I'm in trouble." When I realized I didn't sustain any noticeable injury, I got up and play resumed. Relieved and feeling comfortable to inject his humor, Ryne sent the go signal to the group. When he hit his first shot far offline, he dropped to his knees, theatrically proclaiming, "I think I'm in trouble." The others followed his lead and competitively tried to outdo each other in every version over the next few holes. Vintage Ryne. In the fall of 1998, Ryne and I played one of our favorite courses in Phoenix. As I was given my customary 13 strokes and the thrashing was so severe, we were even heading into the 14th hole. I drove far left, and after a first sweep looking for the ball, Ryne told me to go back to the tee. While he continued his search, I seemingly hit the exact drive. When I reached him, he was walking around, dazed, rubbing his forehead. I immediately realized I hit him in the head from 180 yards away, and now it was my turn to be mortified. He wanted to keep playing, and after several attempts, and against my better judgment, we played on. He did allow me to get ice and applied it a few times. I later called several times, and he said he wasn't going to the hospital. I asked both him and Margaret to reconsider and certainly to cancel our dinner that evening. They called later and said they were still planning to meet us there. Laura and I, with two young players, were seated outside when they arrived. Ryne got a lot of looks from concerned patrons and fans, as his left forehead was black and blue. Although I was nervous, we had a great time even in the extreme heat. I said, "That's it, we're going to the hospital," and they silenced me and promised they knew if and when to go. After dinner, at the time of dessert, I noticed a tiny stream of black and color running down the affected area, followed by what I would now call the Giuliani flow. Ryne could feel it, Margaret could see it, and they burst out laughing. They all lost it. Again, it was a Margaret and Ryne production in collaboration with Mascara and Ink. Again, vintage Sandberg humor. Ryne played with some great players over the years, but without a doubt, Margaret was the MVP. She was the most valuable person in his life, his greatest team for more than 30 years. He came back to share his love of the game with her in 1996, and it brought them immeasurable pleasure. It was a true love story. Rhino, although you took some mighty swings and fought off the count, you ultimately couldn't hit this curveball. As always, you competed with humility, dignity, and grace, and another game awaits you on your field of dreams. Harry, Yosh, Dallas, and Jim will be there to greet you on the other side of the corn, and you will be truly elated. They say to take every day as if it were your last. Knowing him and losing him so young will help me truly understand that now. He was the kindest, most gentle, compassionate man I have ever known. I loved him, and he will always be alive in me and all of us here today. 2-3, too soon.